Allan, what is the state of the art market now?
The art market is tired. It's come off of a number of years of ever increased buying. And I think now collectors of a more established generation are tired. They've bought most of what they want to own. Museums have become, for the collectors who donate their collections or donate artworks to museums have become far more selective in what it is that they're prepared to accept, because they realize that the cost of maintaining the art, preserving the art, insuring the art has increased dramatically. And so a lot of collectors I know about are slowing down. It doesn't mean that their interests are any less. When they see art that they really feel they need or they fall in love with or that fills a gap within a collection, they're prepared to act, but they're not collecting at the same crazy rates at which they were collecting in the past. I think a lot of this is tied to economies and to the political situation in the United States, which is very challenged.
And there's also some question about the level of price, no?
It's not always clear where prices actually are. I think that the auctions, this last round of auctions in May, gave a very clear sense of prices in general. Estimates were lower than they had been in the past. Many things, if not most, sold at the low end of the estimate. They sold to the guarantor. And so it was a substantial amount of money that was spent, but it was at a slower, more sober rate.
But it looks like in the same time the dealer don't want to consider this new level of prices.
Depends upon the gallery. I think that a number of galleries that function at the mid-level of the market and at the entry level of the market are very much wanting to transact. And so we've seen some price adjustment. We've seen a higher degree of discount made available. And so there's Ann and Chris. Sorry.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Hey.
Hi, Ann. Sorry.
No, please.
Ann Goldstein and Chris Williams. Sorry.
Pardon?
Ann Goldstein and Chris Williams.
And so we were speaking about the prices, the adaptation of the new level of prices for secondary and for primary market is not the same.
Secondary is still pretty rich. I mean, most things that I see in the secondary market are privately, not at auction, are priced fairly fully. Galleries seem to be selling things well, and people who are selling art, sometimes they're willing to sell at whatever price the market will bring, and sometimes they're perfectly happy keeping things that they would otherwise be interested in selling.
But don't you think there's a shift in the taste of collectors too? There are things they don't want to have anymore to buy.
I think that's always the case. I think there were a lot of artists that show in the primary market who were used to having exhibitions that sold at a regular pace every few years, and a number of artists for whom there isn't a strong resale market, or where things sell for a fraction at auction than they would have paid for the works originally, that kind of buying has slowed down tremendously.
Yeah, and what do you think will be the impact of all the geopolitical turmoil?
I think it's having great impact. I think it's making people less hungry to buy unless they see the thing that they must own. I don't see many people in the next generation of collectors emerging that have the same commitment to the wider ecosystem of art, meaning I don't see the same commitment to artists. I see more of a commitment to artworks than artists. There are a few exceptions, but not many.
So they are not involved in depth, you mean?
They're not involved in depth, or they're not involved with institutions. And so I think it's very important for people like myself, for advisors, to be training collectors not only to be great collectors, but to be great patrons.
Yeah, and for America, it's a major point for the future of America.
And museums are very challenged in the United States right now.
Ah, wow. So how do you see the market in 1 year, for example?
I'm sorry?
The market.
Yeah.
The state of the market in 1 year.
Since last year, from last year to this year?
No, from this year to next year.
To next year. That would require my having a crystal ball. So
You
let
don't
me
have
think
one?
for a moment. I don't see things changing tremendously over the next year. I think if a new artist comes along or an artist is being rediscovered for whom there's great interest, we'll see a lot of change, but those will be on case-by-case basis. I think that at times when economies are wobbly and where the political scene can be challenging, you see less of an appetite.
Ok, merci monsieur.
My pleasure.